Hey everybody, I'm back again, and this video is a bit different. I'm pretty sure you can tell by the title. Uh, I did promise everybody I would review the game. Review the game. Stream the game, but I honestly got like so caught up in excitement that I completely forgot. And today, this video being uploaded as of this day, I beat the game. Well, not today, yesterday. I beat the game yesterday. And I figure, hey, at least let me make it up to the people who probably wanted to see me stream, or at least me upload gameplay of this game, and I'll give them my thoughts and opinions on what I think of the game. Now, before I continue, this video might be a bit long because I'm going to be covering everything from story, the gameplay, to literally everything. And another thing before I continue, there will be spoilers here, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I'd say skip the story section. If you don't care for spoiling, then just stick around and watch the story section of the video. If not, then just skip the story section of the video. I will try and post a link of when the story section ends, and you could just watch the video from there. But without further ado, let's do this. The first thing I want to talk about is the story. Kingdom Hearts as a series itself has never really been straightforward with the story, and I was honestly okay with that. I was okay with that because Kingdom Hearts 1 was a good majority of the Kingdom Hearts games were pretty straightforward. Yeah, there was a lot of unanswered questions. And they yet to be, answered until this game. All those questions have been answered in this game. But this game leaving even more questions to be answered. And I'm talking about the well, there's just so much to cover. So let's just talk about this game from the beginning. The game starts off really simple. The game starts off pretty simple, Yensi gives Sora and his friends the order, like, hey, okay, your job is to go and pretty much wake up Ven, wake up Aqua, and try and find Terra. It's really simple. You run into the bad guys along the way. They get in your way and stuff like that. Everything's pretty simple until the San Francisco world, where things get a bit strange when it comes to the plot. And by strange, I mean they bring back the replica program, but in a really strange way. And by strange, I mean time travel. So, considering Sora and his friends already killed like a good amount of the organization members, they figure, hey, we have the power of time travel. Let's just go and grab, people from the past. And so they did. So they grabbed Replica Riku from Chain of Memories. They Norded him. And they also grabbed Shion? I don't know. But the way they explain it is weird. Because the only people who are here via time travel is Xehanort Xemnas. They say that right in the very beginning. Like, yeah, you may have slain us before, but we're back because, we traveled through time. And, they explain, like, but for us to travel through time, we have to leave our original bodies behind. So, basically, in some fucking timeline, Xemnas is just in his room, like, sleeping. I'd imagine. Same thing for Ansem. And Xehanort as well. Now, when it came to Replica Riku, his traveling through time method pretty much started confusing the story for me. They bring in Vexen joins the ranks again because he wants to finish his research with the replica program, and he completes it. So he makes dolls that are able to hold hearts and memories as if they were the actual person. As if they were like said actual person. So what the organization does with that is like, okay, let's go back in the past, grab the replica. He doesn't have a body in here, so we'll just put his heart in the replica body, and then he'll pretty much have all his memories and everything as if he was in the past. It's like, what? Excuse me? What's going on? And I'm assuming they did the same thing for Shion as well. So they grabbed Shion from the past, they put her in a fake body here, and you know, she's part of their ranks now. That kind of confused it for me right there. But nothing was as confusing as the end of the game. The end of the game, after you fight the final boss, Xehanort obviously, he reveals his true intentions, which is weird because as you're playing this game, while you're playing this game, it's revealed that their intentions is to learn as much as they can about the Keyblade War. Xehanort pretty much keeps interrogating everybody, like, tell me what you know about the Keyblade War. I want to know. I want to keep learning. And then before the big final battle, he straight up says it. Finally, all the knowledge of the Keyblade War will be mine. But then after you beat him, he reveals his true intentions, which it's just really weird. He reveals his true intentions and the truth of what Kingdom Hearts really is. That's right, everybody. He reveals what Kingdom Hearts really is. Kingdom Hearts is a bomb. Kingdom Hearts is a universal bomb that once it's triggered, the universe will reset starting from the beginning. And the reason for this is because when he was young, he figured, okay, there's more darkness than light in the world. I don't like this. I want to fix this. I want to find out who's responsible. And so for that to happen, he decides to become God by resetting the universe. Because when he resets the universe, he'll be God, hence him controlling the distribution of light and darkness. What? That right there caught me way off guard. Because throughout the entire game, it's him and his members trying to uncover past events from the Keyblade War. And might I also add that Nomura himself said that there will be nothing, that the cell phone game will have no relation to this game whatsoever. Nomura lied because there's a bunch of cell phone stuff in this game. Yeah. Xehanort goes from trying to uncover the truth about the Keyblade War to I'm going to unlock Kingdom Hearts, and the truth about Kingdom Hearts is that it's a bomb, and once it blows up, everything will be reset, and I will be God, and I'll be able to distribute light and darkness evenly, because he doesn't like the fact that there's a bit more darkness than light in the universe. That's Xehanort's like whole shtick there. And it's just really weird. And then the game pretty much ends on a cliffhanger because Kairi gets kidnapped. Kairi doesn't get kidnapped. Kairi is missing once again, and it's up to Sora to go out and find her once again, and the game ends right there. Now that's the story for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I gotta say, for a game that I've been looking forward to for literally years, I don't dig the story. I don't dig the story. I don't blame Nomura though, because Nomura's been rushed for this game for so long. So I guess he just rushed through the game with like, I guess he just rushed through the story with like a bunch of nonsense stuff and other things. But this is not over because, as all of you know, he did himself say that there's going to be more Kingdom Hearts games. It's just this is the end of the Dark Seekers arc. Especially considering the epilogue shows that Xigbar is actually Lushu from the cell phone game. It's just that Xigbar traveled through time because Xehanort's Keyblade, the one with the eye, is able to travel through time. And Xigbar had a mission that forced him to do this and even alter his appearance to accomplish said mission. What this is, nobody knows. All we know is that he summons his dead comrades from the past into the future, and he's going to explain everything as what's been happening. So from what it seems like, it seems like Xigbar and his friends from the past are going to be the bad guys. It's very strange, honestly. It's real strange. But this game is not over because Nomura did say that he's going to release DLC, and considering that a secret movie trailer came out today revealing that the first DLC world is going to be Shibuya from the world Ends With You, and from what it seems like, this world is going to take place after story mode, considering it looks like Sora is still looking for Kairi, Riku's looking for Sora because Sora's taking too long, and it appears that Xigbar is in this world as well, because there's a one hooded figure in this world in the trailer. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully it wraps up a lot of stuff, because a lot of the questions from the past games got answered. A lot of questions from the past games got answered, but this game just left us with more questions than answers, honestly. Okay, now we have new questions like who is the real bad guy, what is going on, what's inside that damn box, because ladies and gentlemen, they do not open that box. They don't open the box. They do not open that box. But I'm assuming that, in my personal opinion, I think the Masters of Masters is the true bad guy, because he just disappears. He just disappears after the events of the cell phone game. He's not dead or anything. Nobody knows what happened with him. So that's something to look forward to. Now, for the gameplay. The gameplay, honestly, the gameplay is great. I love the Keyblade transformations. The Keyblade transformations provide numerous ways to approach situations. But after a while, you start to realize that a lot of the Keyblade transformations are just copy and paste. Like the Kingdom Key, the PS4 pre-order Keyblade, because I pre-ordered this game on PS4, and the final Keyblade Sora gets all have the same moveset. It's just one Keyblade is better than the other. They all have the same moveset, all have the same finishers. The Monsters Inc. Keyblade and the Frozen Keyblade are the same Keyblade. The Star Seeker Keyblade and the Winnie the Pooh Keyblade are the same Keyblade. It's just different effects. I found that pretty lame. The only actual Keyblades that do their own things is Hercules Keyblade, Tango's Keyblade, and Toy Story's Keyblade. Every other Keyblade, and Pirates of the Caribbean Keyblade. Every other Keyblade after that is just copy and paste, just with different styles. And I was a bit disappointed with that because I was expecting more from the Keyblades. But the ultimate weapon Keyblade is its own unique style, and it is the best Keyblade in the game. And I unfortunately do not have that, but I have seen it, and it is incredible. Personally, for me, my favorite Keyblades that I use throughout the game, for specific situations, is Tangu's Keyblade to just deal with normal enemies. Because Tangu's Keyblade does a bunch of AOE stuff, which is actually pretty cool. And you have free movement as you're attacking. It's not like the other Keyblades, how while you're attacking, Sora usually stays in one spot. This Keyblade, you could just like go around crazy shooting and stuff like that. And the other Keyblade I use is the Monsters Inc. Keyblade, specifically for boss fights though, because the Monsters Inc. Keyblade deals out so much good damage. Those are the only two Keyblades I use in the game. I have the PS4 Keyblade equipped only to boost Sora's stats, but that's about it. The flow motion got nerfed, which is kind of lame because flow motion was a big part of Dream Drop Distance, and the whole reason Sora went into Dream Drop was so he could learn flow motion and the power of waking. He learned flow motion, but he didn't learn the power of waking. But now that he learns flow motion, it's not really used a lot in this game at all. The only part of flow motion that's really used in this game is when you have to run up buildings. That's honestly it. They nerf flow motion really pretty bad. It is no longer you can no longer jump super high, you can no longer dash far. Eventually you can, but you unlock those as abilities later in the game, which again is weird. The summons are back as well. They're back in the form of links, and there's not many summons, but I don't think there has to be many summons because these summons are actually pretty good. The first summon being the Dream Eater that Sora had. The second summon being Wreck-It Ralph for some reason. And the other summon being Ariel. And then Simba from Lion King. Simba looking pretty cool. Ariel being my favorite summon because Ariel's summon actually deals out a good chunk of damage. And then Stitch's summon is strange, but deals out a good amount of damage as well. And those are all the summons in the game. I honestly do not use them. The attractions, which are what they call the Disney moves in the game, are actually pretty cool when you first use them. But after a while, it gets annoying because attractions seem like things that rarely spawn or rarely happen. And there's only one attraction that's actually situational in the boss fight, which is the roller coaster choo-choo train attraction. After a while, the attractions get a bit annoying appearing on the command board because not a lot of people know this, but you can use your left trigger for both PS4 and Xbox One to switch which moves you want to use. Because don't get me wrong, the attractions are very beautiful looking, but they appear very, very, very often, and it sometimes gets in the way of combat. And me personally, I like a challenge. You can stack attraction on attraction on attraction, and you could just spam them on a bunch of enemies or a boss, because you can even go into bosses with attractions ready. But overall, they're really nice, and sadly though, there's only two parts in the game where you actually use the train attraction, one being the Rock Titan and one being when you fight the 10,000 Heartless fight. I found that pretty lame because the choo-choo train attraction is actually really powerful from what it seems like, but there's not much you really use it for. What else is there? Well, the shot locks are pretty good. There's not many shot locks considering the shot locks are based on what Keyblade you're using, but I don't really use the shot locks honestly because the magic and the Keyblade transformings are enough to pretty much deal out enough damage for me to just wipe everybody really fast. But, you know, that's just me. The magic, though, the magic in the game did get nerfed from what I've seen. Because we've all played Aqua's game 0.2, and her magic was incredible. Sure, she only had fire, ice, and thunder, but her magic was incredible. And when you play as Sora, Sora has the same fire, ice, and thunder. He's also accompanied with water and wind. Thunder, a lot of those spells were nerfed for Sora, and me and a friend actually conversated about this, and we came up with a theory which makes perfect sense actually. Sora is not a Keyblade master, therefore he doesn't have the information or the resources, as you could say, that both Aqua and Riku have. Because Aqua has, if you play Aqua's game, when you do her ultimate spells, they're called like Thunder Ja, Fire Ja, Blizzard Ja. And when you play as Riku, he has the same magic spells that Aqua did in her game. But when you play as Sora, his finishing moves, instead of saying Ja, it's Thunder Za, Fire Za, Blizzard Za, and they look extremely different and honestly not as impressive. They really nerfed the magic in the game. I have no idea why. I mean, I don't blame them though, because in Aqua's game, once you're strong enough, you could just spam Thunder and you kill everything really fast. The only good spell, in my personal opinion, has to be the final attack of Arosa. Arosa conjures up a huge tornado, and it grabs everything. It conjures up a big tornado in the middle, and then multiple other tornadoes that swirl around that tornado, and you can even go inside of it and jump, and you can just beat up everything. That is honestly my favorite spell in the game, but there's not a lot of magic in the game, so that's a bit sad right there. I'm a bit disappointed that there's not a lot of magic. The Classic Kingdom stuff, I've yet to do. Well, I've actually done one of them, and it's pretty fun. You know, if for someone like me who grew up in the 90s, Game and Watch toys, as you know, I know them as, were pretty fun back in the day, and it's pretty fun to see them back here. I'm trying to remember what else there is. There's a bunch of stuff this game has. There's not really any reaction commands. There's only certain situations in the game where they actually brought in reaction commands, which I kind of miss because I do love the reaction commands, how they looked in Kingdom Hearts 2. They looked really cool and stuff like that. And I think this is the final thing I have to say about the gameplay. But maybe it's because I don't have a lot of moves, because my Sora is currently level 49 on Proud Mode. But Sora's moveset in this game is pretty bad. Like, his moveset is really solely focused on single target enemies. While in the other Kingdom Hearts games, Sora had two movesets. He had one moveset where if he's fighting one enemy, he'll do one-on-one combat. But if there's multiple enemies surrounding him, he'll change from one-on-one combat to AoE combat. AoE being like area of effect combat, or in other terms, he'll do wide range attacks. In this game, he doesn't really do that. He does not really do that. Sure, he has like a spin attack that comes out during his single attack combos. Sure, he has Thunder and Arrow, which are AoE based magic spells, but not everybody wants to spam magic all the time, and not everybody wants to use the attractions all the time or the summons all the time. People just want to, use regular, good old-fashioned combat. And Sora's combat moves in this game, in my personal opinion, they're not good. They were the best to me in Kingdom Hearts 2. Especially my favorite move, Magnet Burst. When you're in the air, you could just pull everyone towards you and then blast them away. That move is in this game as well, but instead of Sora learning it, it's a form move that he gains from the Kingdom Key, the PS4 Keyblade, and the Starlight Keyblade, which I'm pretty disappointed because that was honestly my favorite move in Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh man, there's a lot to talk about. The gummy ship stuff. I was pretty excited to hear that the gummy ships were coming back. I thought considering Sora went through the Keyblade test, he would travel through worlds using his Keyblade like Ventus, Terra, and Aqua did. That's what I assumed. But it turns out that no, that's not the case. Especially for Riku, because Riku actually has his own gummy ship as well, which I found really surprising. You still travel via gummy ship, and when I heard that it was going to be open world, I was pretty excited. I was like, oh man, this sounds pretty cool. Open world gummy ship. I'd imagine it's going to look pretty beautiful, and there's going to be like enemies, fortresses, all that stuff that's going to be in your way as you're flying around the open world. Maybe even bosses that spawn sometimes. No, that's not the case. It is beautiful. The open world gummy ship is very beautiful, but it's really slow paced compared to the awesomeness that with the Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ships. The Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ships, yeah, it was a railgun shooter, but it was a damn good looking railgun shooter. It was incredible, and the music was incredible. The music does not really change during the gummy ship stuff. Your gummy ships are not that varied in terms of like unlocking new ships. They really emphasize the create your own gummy ship thing in this game. I'm guessing because in Kingdom Hearts 1 and in Kingdom Hearts 2, nobody really made their own gummy ships because nobody really liked making the gummy ship system. There was one person who I know on YouTube who made the ultimate gummy ship for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I think said person has made the ultimate gummy ship for Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, which looks hilarious, by the way. But honestly, the gummy ship stuff in this game is not that good. You do encounter some bosses, and yeah, but that's about it. It's not the gummy ship is not that good. I'm trying to think about what else. Okay, now the AI in this game. This is specifically towards the teammates you gain throughout the worlds. Aside from Donald and Goofy, because Donald and Goofy, from what I've seen, actually do stuff, all the other teammates in the game that you team up with, including the Keybladers, and yes, that's right, you do team up with the Keybladers at the very end of the game, their AI is real bad. Like, really bad. I've actually watched them during combat. They don't really fight. And I know some of you in the comments or some of you watching this video are gonna go, oh, but you have to customize them and set them to like fight better or something like that. I did. They do not fight. They usually walk around or stand there, or maybe they'll throw like a punch or two, but then they'll just like, they'll just stand there not doing anything. That is another thing I had an issue with, because I do remember, yeah, a lot of people used to say Donald is useless in Kingdom Hearts 1, but if you customize him correctly and give him the correct abilities, Donald and Goofy are gods in Kingdom Hearts 1. Donald never running out of MP, and Goofy always regenerating MP to give Donald. Same thing for Kingdom Hearts 2. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Donald and Goofy are honestly really good. They're really good. Their limit breaks spawn really often and everything, and it's awesome. While all the other characters you team up with are they don't really do anything. They're just there. They're just there to look good, so you can take pictures of them on your gummy phone. Now the world. I don't blame this game for not having many worlds, because Nomura was rushed for this game. So I don't blame the story for being weird near the end of the game, because a story for the first half of the game is like okay, but then near the end half of the game it's just like what? Like, what's going on? So the worlds, some of the worlds sadly suffer from the same fate. Hercules' world is very short. We heard, us Kingdom Hearts fans heard that a lot of the worlds were going to be huge. And when you think of a huge world, it's like, oh man, these worlds sound like they're going to be pretty long. For me, each world was long because I I explored every inch. I broke every object, considering objects grant you like items and recipes for the restaurant that you can cook in. Each world was pretty long to me, but some being longer, some being shorter. Hercules' world is I find Hercules' world to be an exception, considering Hercules' world is the tutorial world. They're still teaching you game mechanics and stuff like that. So I found that to be okay. And for those of you wondering, I know a lot of people are complaining about this. Phil in Hercules' world does not have a voice actor. And that is because, I just heard this from a friend right now. That is because the Japanese voice actor for Phil passed away in Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, in the Kingdom Hearts in general. And it would be wrong if all other versions of the game gave Phil a voice actor while the Japanese version does not. I mean, that would be wrong. Some people may agree, some people may disagree with me, like, oh, who cares, but, you know, I think it's the right move. I was a bit confused, though, as to why he didn't have a voice until I learned the reason. So, oh, okay, that's why. Now, I went to these worlds by level. So after Hercules' world, I went straight to... I honestly don't remember. I went straight to, I think, Toy Story. Yeah, I went straight to Toy Story, and I was excited for the Toy Story world. They brought back the original voice actor for Ham and Rex. The voice actors for Woody and Buzz, I'm guessing they had time to practice because they sounded much better compared to how... Everybody sounds much better in this game compared to how they sounded in the trailers, and I found that to be amazing. Although, two friends of mine do point out that the roles of Woody and Buzz were switched, and by roles I mean their personalities were switched. Considering in the movies, Woody was always like, no, let's stay here, let's wait for help, while Buzz is like, no, we gotta go save them. And in this game, Woody's the one that's like, we gotta go save them, but Buzz is the one that wants to stay and wait for help. So I found that a bit strange. But overall, the world was really nice looking. I was so excited. Like, I got to explore Andy's room. You could go outside into the streets and stuff. And then you go to the toy store. But sadly, that's it. I was expecting like more from the Toy Story world. I guess they made the world big enough, considering you're the size of a toy. So the world must look big from a toy's perspective, but you know, from the player's perspective, it's not that big. Toy Story world is not that big, but the story and the cutscenes were actually pretty funny, and that's my favorite part. And Toy Story, Woody being my favorite character in this entire game, specifically because of the dialogue he exchanged with young Xehanort. Woody is a savage. Woody is a savage when it comes to, you know, disrespect. I'll just leave it at that. I won't say what he says, but I'll just leave it at that. But other than that, the gameplay in Woody's world was pretty cool. The jumping inside of the Gigas mechs is honestly the only way you're going to kill other Gigas mechs, because you can kill Heartless and Nobodies with the Keyblade, sure, but if you're fighting a mech with just the Keyblade, you're not going to really do much damage, and you're going to get hit pretty hard. So the only way to really fight those is to get in your own mech. Now for the next world, honestly being my favorite world, Tangled. Tangled, to me, was a huge, gorgeous world. It was really huge, and it was amazing. It was beautiful looking, and they even included the town. They had a bunch of little mini like events you could do with Rapunzel, and if you did them all, she would grant you items at the very end of it. And you could they even included a dancing mini game from the movie. So you know, Sora had to dance with the citizens, which was pretty funny. And just like any Disney World, they had to copy the movie. So I was a bit shocked when I saw the guy character. I forgot his name actually. The male character, the male love interest for Rapunzel. I was a bit shocked to see him get stabbed in the chest, considering Kingdom Hearts has never really showed death. So it's generally people just fading away, like, ah, you beat me, ah. So I was pretty shocked by that. And I was a bit surprised how well Sora handled it. Like, Sora would get sad, yeah, but I'm guessing after all these adventures, he pretty much like, okay, nothing can really surprise me anymore. Um, but Tangled World, to me, was great. It's really huge, really beautiful, and I love it. Monsters Inc. World, well, Twilight Town was such a huge, huge disappointment to me. Twilight Town is so small in this game. I was expecting it to be big. I was like, oh man, we get to explore a much bigger Twilight Town. We get to go back into the mansion, stuff like that. Nope. Nope. Twilight Town is the second smallest world in this game. It's just two areas. The area where the Moogle shop is, and the path leading to the mansion, and which is, by the way, different now. Which is, instead of going through the hole in the wall, you now go through the sewers, which is strange. And you don't even go into the mansion, which I was also disappointed about. So Twilight Town was really disappointing to me. There's nothing to really say about it. Although they did add NPCs in the game like they promised, so Twilight Town does look lively with NPCs. The Monsters Inc. world. Now, the Monsters Inc. world I found pretty cool, considering the Monsters Inc. world takes place after the Monsters Inc. movie. So I found that pretty cool. You know, Sully's in charge of the business. Boo comes to visit every often. And the Monsters Inc. world is probably my second favorite world in the game. Because as soon as you go in, it's pretty action-packed. It's fun to see Sully and Mike Wazowski and even Randall do like their shenanigans that they did in the movie. It's a very linear world, I will say that. It's not huge or anything. It's very hallway-esque. But I think it makes up for it for having a lot of action scenes and stuff like that, and being pretty funny in some points in the game. Randall, however, I was really disappointed in, because we do not get to fight Randall, sadly. I thought we did. I was ready to kick his butt, but we do not fight Randall. Instead, we fight a goopy, unversed creature, and that was it. And that was honestly it for the Monsters Inc. world. They do a funny thing to Vanitas, which I found hilarious. Now, Frozen. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but Frozen, the Frozen world, was not supposed to be in this game. Frozen was not supposed to be in this game. The only reason Frozen is in this game is because somebody at Disney begged Nomura to put Frozen in this game. They must have gave him a fat paycheck in order to do it. They begged them to put Frozen in this game. I'm assuming they paid him extra. And the only reason Frozen is in this game, the only reason Disney wanted Frozen in here, is to promote Frozen and get people excited for a second Frozen movie. That's the only reason. You can tell this game was not meant to be in this game. The only reason I know about it is because I've actually read on it. I've actually read up on it that, yeah, Frozen's coming, but he doesn't want it to be in the game. It's just like, they paid him, he has no choice. You can tell that that Frozen world is not meant to be in the game. Because the Frozen world is the most boringest world in the entire game. All you do is explore the mountain. You don't go into town. You don't go into Elsa's Ice Palace. You don't do anything. You just go up and down from the mountain. Up and down, up and down, up and down. The boss fight for Frozen, though, was pretty cool. And considering I'm playing on Proud Mode, it was the first challenging boss I encountered in the game. But other than that, I think Nomura should have said no. I want to put in the worlds that I want to put in, because this Frozen world was just really bad. Winnie the Pooh. I don't know why Winnie the Pooh's here. Winnie the Pooh's world in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 is pretty lengthy and full of mini games. In this game, it's just one small area and 3 mini games. And the only reason they bring in Winnie the Pooh's world is because Sora hasn't hung out with Pooh in such a long time that Pooh was slowly forgetting about Sora. That Pooh straight up tells Sora, like, I haven't seen you in such a long time. I almost forgot about you. And that made Sora sad. I mean, it's common sense. Like, you don't see someone for such a long time. Eventually, they're going to be like, what's that guy's name again? Oh, man. But that's Winnie the Pooh's world. You go in there, you do three mini games. You become friends with Pooh again. Pooh, you tell Pooh, I'll always be here in your heart, and Pooh's happy, and that's it. That's all it is. I don't think Pooh's world was honestly necessary to be in the game. Pirates of the Caribbean. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I love the movies, and yes, I even love the bad movie. I love the movies. I just love pirates in general. So I was pretty excited to be going to the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I was so excited to be running after the Black Pearl with Captain Jack Sparrow, to be sailing the sea. I got to see like the important characters from the movie who look really good, by the way. Oh man, the first boss fight of the world was incredible, but after that, it's just really boring. Pirates was really really bland. It's just nothing but open ocean, and they give you a map. They do give you a map that you can look at, but the map isn't the exact size of the ocean you can explore. The map looks huge, but if you want to go to certain parts of said map, you can't because you're not allowed to cross this, invisible wall. So I found that to be pretty lame. The ship exploration was honestly really bad. The underwater controls were really bad. The underwater combat was really bad. The ship controls, though, were on point for me because the ship controls exactly how it does in the Assassin's Creed games. That involves the ships as well. So I found that pretty cool. The music was really good too, in my opinion. And Port Royale, they brought in the entirety of Port Royale from the Pirates movie, from the fort all the way to the docks. I found that pretty cool that they brought that in. And they brought in NPCs talking in like languages back in the day, like "arr" stuff like that. I found that pretty nice. But as nice as Port Royale looked, the ocean exploration was really boring. The gameplay in the Pirates world was honestly really boring in general. The only thing that was pretty cool was the beginning of the world and the end of the world. That's it. That's the only thing, and I was honestly disappointed because I'm a huge fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and when I saw this, I was just ugh. San Francisco or Big Hero 6. I've never seen the movie, but I heard it's pretty good, so I was pretty psyched to go to this world. This world apparently also takes place after their movie, and as soon as you go in, they throw you into so much action, too much action if you ask me, that I didn't get a chance to explore the world at all, because they throw you in from fight to fight to fight to fight to fight, that I only managed to open one treasure chest in this world, and it was the map chest of the city. It's just fight, 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 beat the boss, leave. And I was like, okay, so I gotta explore that world when I get back to the game. And those are all the worlds. Those are all the worlds aside from the final world, which is the Keyblade Graveyard. The Keyblade Graveyard is actually looks pretty good this time around. Instead of being a straight hallway like it was in Birth by Sleep with whirlwinds and stuff, it's still a straight hallway, but then you come to a maze that Xehanort created, and you have to traverse the maze. It's not hard. That's really easy, but I found that pretty cool. And there's also a bunch of stuff that you do there as well before the final battle. Now, the final battle of the game, I was hugely disappointed. Every Kingdom Hearts game every final boss had like a big impact. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, you fight Ansem, he summons Darkseid on you, you fight Ansem again, and then Ansem becomes a ship, and you fight him. Chain of Memories, you fight Marluxia, you fight Grim Reaper Marluxia, and then you fight Giant Grim Reaper Marluxia. It's like, oh my god. 2, you fight Xemnas, you fight Weird Castle Xemnas, you fight Armored Xemnas, you fight Dragon Xemnas, you fight Final Xemnas. It's like, oh my god, is this guy gonna die or what? Birth by Sleep, there's multiple bosses to Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep, you can fight Ericus's armor, you can fight Xehanort's armor, you can fight Vanitas, you can fight Secret Vanitas, you can fight Young Xehanort. It's a lot of bosses, and each boss was pretty challenging and like exciting. So I think Birth by Sleep did it great with the boss fights. I'm not talking about Roxas's game because I don't think anyone wants to relive Roxas's game. Recoded, I did play Recoded, and Recoded was okay. Dream Drop, the bosses in there were pretty lame. Julius being super annoying. But Xehanort, the Xehanort boss fight to me was really boring. He doesn't really do anything during his boss fight. He doesn't really do anything. My favorite boss fight in this game, honestly, has to be the real Organization 13. And the reason I say real is because when you go to the new world, Scala ad Calam, however you pronounce it, you fight the real Organization 13, and they go crazy on you. They even turn the entire sky red, and they start diving down on you like bombs from the sky. That was pretty cool. But the final battle with Xehanort himself, Xehanort has, I think, 3 phases, if I remember. Regular Xehanort, Armored Xehanort, who looks weird, by the way. And Armored Xehanort is the first person in the game that gave me a game over. Specifically because during his boss fight, you fight him on land, and then you fight him underwater, and then you fight him in the air. When it came to underwater, he just destroyed me because the underwater controls are bad. And when it came to Final Fight Xehanort, it was a scripted event. Like once you get his health low enough, you one shot him, and I found that to be pretty lame as well. And apparently, I hear a lot of people agree with me that the final battle of Kingdom Hearts 3 was really bad. Overall, though, what I think of the game, am I satisfied? Yeah, I'd have to say I'm satisfied with. I don't blame Nomura. Yeah, there's some people out there like, hurry up, make the game. Oh, he's stalling. This game's never gonna come out, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people don't know what he went through to make this game. After 0.2 came out, Kingdom Hearts 3 was ready. Like, it was almost done. But the president of Square Enix told them to restart the project because they weren't using the Unreal Engine 4. They were using something else. And he told them to restart the project and use the Unreal Engine 4. So they had to start the entire project from scratch. And yeah, it's just people demanding him, making fun of him on his Twitter, like, oh, you're never gonna release this game, stuff like that. You know, that eventually gets to a guy, and especially the person who's in charge of the game. Nomura could have easily canceled Kingdom Hearts 3, but he knows that there are fans out there that still wanted the game and were patient with him, so you know he released it anyway. And I am actually satisfied with what we got. Yeah, there are some worlds that I don't like. The Frozen world, I feel bad that it's in here because he didn't want it in here. But yeah, I'm satisfied with what we got. And there's more to come too, because he has confirmed that there is DLC coming to the game. The DLC will be worlds, from what I've heard, that never made it into the full game. The first world being the world that ends with you. And I think that world's gonna come real soon, considering the secret movie revealing that world came out yesterday. The same day I beat the game. I think that world was meant to be in the game, not frozen, so they probably had the world ready to go. But yeah, that's about it. That's honestly about it. That's what I think of the game. Overall, it's an okay game. It's not a bad game, but it's not a great game. To me, Kingdom Hearts 2 still retains still retains to be my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Because Kingdom Hearts 2 did a lot of things right, in my opinion. Kingdom Hearts 3, again, I don't blame the guy for rushing through the game. So, the game's not perfect. Not a lot of the stuff that he wanted to be in the game made it in. Like the fashion thing from Aqua's game, how you could customize her outfit and stuff. That's meant to be in this game, but it never made it in. And I think they're going to add that into the game, actually. But I hope you guys, enjoyed my little review. I don't really review games unless it's a game that I've been looking forward to for a long, long time. And these are my honest opinions. I tried my best to remember everything about the game. If there's anything I missed or if there's any questions you want to ask me, feel free to go ahead. I hope I didn't spoil anything for you, because I do tend to rant on when I'm really into a conversation, and I do forget to filter my mouth, I guess you could say. But yeah, that was my honest opinions on what I think about Kingdom Hearts 3 after buying it and beating it. And I look forward to the DLCs and the stories. And there's one more thing that I forgot to mention about the story. Now, if you don't want to be spoiled, you could just leave the video right here. Kairi goes missing again, and that's basically what Sora's doing now. He's looking for Kairi. Kairi's missing again. A damsel in distress. But on the bright side, Sora learns the power of love, so this should be interesting. But I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time. And I guess the next thing that I do, I'm thinking of doing Yakuza. So I do like the Yakuza games, and I wouldn't mind streaming or recording those games. If you guys want me to or whatever, just let me know in the comments below, or send me one of those messages that YouTube has now, I guess. I'll catch everyone later. Bye-bye.